So the solar policy 2019, again, as part of the SET initiative, we have taken it to do a joint analysis and come up with certain things that we could propose to the government to speed up the implementation of rooftop solar. I think that's the basic idea behind this presentation. To take this forward, I think I'll give an overview. I think most of you will know certain parts of the policy, but I'll give an overview. At the end of the day, we could have a discussion on how we could we could take this forward. The media, at least in their own ways, they can report it to see if there is a as sir pointed out, the rooftop solar market has not taken up. So that's something that so the so the overall objective of the solar policy 2019 is to have 9,000 megawatts by 2023, with including 3,600 megawatts of consumer category solar systems. Next. Okay. So this is interesting for me. I reread it once more, and the objectives are very broad, and there are several parts of the objective that can be taken forward in separate pieces. Actually, it is to give an ecosystem for solar energy development. It is to achieve the solar portfolio obligation, to facilitate open access for grid connected distributed generation of solar power, incentivize consumers to set up solar energy systems, provide single window clearance for technical support, funding support and project clearance, encourage PPPs. So in terms of the policy itself, there are a couple of aspects which is the crux of it. One is the utility category systems, with nothing but the large scale solar power plants that come out. For example, the Adani plant, they are given a solar gross feed-in. It is for sale to the utility or for open access. TNRC is to determine the voltage level tariff. Voltage level for this particular consumer category. Tariff is to be determined by TNRC or through competitive bidding. And excess energy fed into it. So the policy has removed banking of power, and any excess energy fed into the grid is to be determined by a tariff of TNRC. From the consumer category system, which is in rooftop solar or ground mounted systems, the previous 2012 policy of net credit to a net feed-in system, where the excess power after self-consumption is paid a price by Tangentco, and this is determined by TNRC in terms of and it is worked out around 2.28 per kilowatt for the year financial year 2019-20. So other parts of the policy are to encourage energy storage systems. For that, a time of day tariff is to be developed by TNRC. All service connections. This is very important because most of our meters are unidirectional meters. So this, according to the policy, all service meters will be bidirectional. So you have a solar net meter ready service connection available. Interestingly, the solar policy also mandates ECBC to be put up, to be taken up, notified by the government, and all ECBC compliant buildings will have a solar, will have to put up rooftop solar. So previously the policy was policy you talked about I think 90% system capacity. That is, a rooftop solar could have only 90% of the demand. So that is like if a household has got a 3 kilowatt this thing, so you could only have a 90% of the 3 kilowatt set up as rooftop solar. Now there is 100% of the sanctioned load. And another important point was the distribution transformer, where the solar power flows out. Previously it was 30%, now it is made 90% on a first come first base.
first come first serve basis by TNERC. So there are some pain points. So pain points is the time of day tariff has not been determined by TNERC. So this is a big impediment, like it's an energy storage market is not developed. And the second, the present tariff methodology. They've called it, the TNERC has made it as a miscellaneous petition and given revised accounting methodology. So it is as opaque as anything, and the revised accounting methodology says 75% of the competitive bidding or tariff determined by TNERC or the APCC, the EPPCC is to be the 75% of that is to be the cost of solar. Based on that, 2.28 was arrived, and it doesn't even cover 50% of the cost. Yes. And another thing TNERC has done is has mandated installation of a solar generation meter. So the thing is, in addition to a normal bidirectional meter, consumer has to put up a solar generation meter at the service point. So this is something that has been opposed a lot by the stakeholders, in the sense that if you are a if you are a like a university or something, and the solar generation meters got to put at the service point, yeah, wire has to be taken all the way from the rooftop solar down to the entrance of the campus. For example, the cost of the wire will be higher than the cost of the solar panel. That's quite possible. And another thing is, solar policy has stated energy injected into the grid by the consumer as RPO, but TNERC has said energy generated from rooftop solar as the RPO, which is like a person who is self-consuming solar for himself cannot be counted as an RPO obligation. And electricity duty exemption for 2 years. So it's only, but renewable energy is a benign source. It's an environment friendly source. If it is got to have the promotion and aspect as it needs, so electricity duty should be kind of removed away, and it could be not in place. So then another aspect is that safety inspection by Tamil Nadu Electrical Inspectorate for 10 for up to 10 kilowatt and above. So the thing is, when a government body is installing, let's say, is inspecting a premise, there could be a lot of administrative hassles around it. So that administrative hassle can be avoided if TNEI then goes in for a 100 kilowatt or above inspection. That will be like more consumer friendly. I think I'll stop with this, but there are certain points of the so there are certain points of the other policy that could have been taken into consideration, because within in the previous policy there were other systems like virtual feed-in, gross net feed-in, and there was also gross feed-in, and there was group feed-in, is it? Group feed-in. So three systems were in place to actually democratize the market. Like in the sense, you need not have only two arrangements. You could have lot more other arrangements that could help TangentCo and the consumers to find equitable solutions. But those were removed from the policy and the final policy, and as a result, what happened? You have only uh, two categorizations. So that's kind of that has limited the market in some sense. So this is something that we can always talk about. Yeah, that's about it from me. Thanks.